it's stuck tight like desert sand. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I can't take a sip, not even a cut. Jukebox plays those swinging tunes, but I can't dance without my fizzing juice. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I'm bursting bad, it's driving me nuts. Who out there plays this tricky game? Driving me wild, oh, it's a shame. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I'm thirsting bad, it's driving me nuts. Who out there plays this tricky game? Driving me wild, oh, it's a shame. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I need a drink, someone fess up. Sitting here in my booth, all alone. This bottle top, it won't leave my zone. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? Dreaming of bubbles hitting my gut. Satan Moon blares a crazy tune while I twiddle this cap under the moon. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I'm losing patience, it's just my luck. Friends all laugh, they're having a ball, but here I am staring at the wall. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? Hopes of refreshment turn to dust. Who out there plays this tricky game? Driving me wild, oh, it's a shame. Who unglued my Nuka-Cola shut? I need a drink, someone fess up.
You know, the world's kind of amazing, if you stop and take a look at it.
Testing, testing, hello, hello. Damn, that popped. Testing, testing. Hello, 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 hello. That should be good. Alrighty. So I guess this would be the official first genuine stream. I've streamed a couple times, and this thing's loud. Streamed a couple times on the console to test to see how it sounds, and the microphone that I have is pretty dog shit. It's a good headset, but it's a really dog shit microphone. So yeah, I guess when I stream I'll make do when I'm on PS5, because I mean I don't want to sit in this chair, you know. Done a lot of that. Back's all jacked up. So sitting in the chair for extensive period of time is fairly bad on my back. So I avoid it. I've streamed in the past, so I have experience. It's nothing new to me, but being able to sit in a chair for 8, 10, 12 plus hours is no longer feasible. So laying around, playing on the PlayStation, having, you know, moved away from PC gaming and, you know, got kids and all that shit, so it's harder to commit to long periods of time. But you know, I got a little bit of time here and there when the wife takes them over to play with the cousins and stuff like that on the weekends, and, you know, I stay home and do chores, and, you know, I got some downtime, and it'd be nice to, you know, pop a couple beers and throw on a stream again, get back into it. This channel in particular, you know, I'm was a bit of a shit talker back when I used to stream, and I don't think that's gonna really change. I think it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of issues with the game. I mean, I've dumped, I don't know, going on like 2,000 hours into it. It's nothing comparable to some of the people that have grinded this game. I'm sure even other content creators, it's like a laughable amount of time. It's probably less than some of their alternate accounts have, you know, like different consoles, platforms, I should say. I don't know. However, I've played the Fallout games. I've played Bethesda games in the past. I've tried to get through Skyrim. For some reason, I just have a hard time with it. I don't know. I can't stay to it. Maybe that'll be some content at some point. But you know, I know the fuckery. I've always been in on that loop. I used to have a podcast, and we used to talk about gaming and that type of shit quite frequently. And you know, you stay current on that news. You stay current on what's going on. So, you know, I was an early adapter of the game, gave it a shot, and it was ass, and then stopped like most people, you know. Then came back again, played a little bit, still kind of ass, left, and then came back again, tried it on Xbox, didn't even get past, you know, some of the starting point area, you know. I don't even know where I got. I'd say when I got on Xbox, I got Vault 76, I made it down, and I think I got about right about here and quit. it was like I went through all the intro stuff, made my way through, went to the Wayward. The Wayward was added by that point, and started that quest, listening to Jason Mewes, and then I had to stop playing for whatever reason, and
really. And I mean,
it was
want to join the band one day.
not really a game that I was vibing on at the time. There was other shit I was playing, and I still wasn't really fully committed to the console life, and I didn't come back to it. I think I might have logged in once and was like, it had been so long since I played, I'd forgotten what to do in terms of like controller wise. Never altered them because I have altered control bindings slightly, and I never even bothered with that to make it like comfortable for me. So yada yada yada. But really, when it comes down to it, I came back and I've just been dumping time into it, not to like an obsessive extent, but kids go to bed, wife's asleep, I got a couple hours to myself, I'll play. It's a weekend, I can neck beard out and get super sweaty, I can I'll sit and I'll play for 6, 7, 8 hours or whatever. Stop, do some shit, stretch my legs, go get dinner, go do shopping, whatever, come back, do another 3 or 4 hours, what have you, that type of thing. So it's been slow moving. It's not the fastest X amount of hours. Let's see how many hours. Oh, it's only 1,200 hours. So it wasn't the fastest progression. And I'm not grinding West Tech and doing all that XP shit. It's just as bare bones as you get. I got Fallout first, and that's pretty much it. I'm not beholden to. It's like I like Starfield, but I'm not beholden to Bethesda and like their good graces and shit like that. So, I have no issue talking some shit, and I think that's it's like they're not gonna go anywhere because of my shit talking and. The shit talking of anybody else, like, yeah, it might be like, oh, that's a bummer to read or hear or whatever, but it's like, hey, it's in good fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, your issues, the standards that we're dealing with here, the fact that every time you add an event, it breaks. Damn well that every single time you add an event, it has the same exact issues that should probably have been addressed by now, or like, in terms of like another standard AAA or, just below AAA gaming company that you would assume that they'd be able to fix and reliably just keep out of the game and just take care of, dust their hands off and walk away, that type of thing. But here, we deal with a lot. So we can talk our shit, and I do agree that this game does have a really nice and fun, welcoming community. But I also, there is a bit of that toxic positivity that's lurking around over yonder. You know what I'm saying? There's a bit of that going on where it's like, now guys, let's all be nice, let's be civil, let's not make them feel bad. I'm like, why, dude? Like, why, bro? It's like talking a bit of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're mad, let them know you're mad. Like, who gives a shit? Like, come on now. Like, what are they gonna do? Have a crisis, an existential crisis? Go home and cry in a cold shower at night because I told them the bug is annoying and that it's a pain in the ass to deal with, and then crack some jokes about it? Like, no, they're not. They're probably not even gonna look in the first place or hear it or give a shit. And if they do, then it's like, laugh along with us. We're dealing with a lot. So that's gonna be the demeanor of this stream. It's not going to be one of those, overly optimistic types of perspectives. This is going to be a pessimistic perspective. Definitely, this is a pessimistic perspective of Bethesda and their decision making. And I know all the backstory of all that. The studio being absorbed and given, assets and unleashed to make a Fallout multiplayer, and to be honest, like, what the game is good, For not knowing how to use Creative Engine and then come out the gate swinging, and yeah, it was broken, but I mean, it, you know, it still felt like a Fallout game. It still looked like a Fallout game. Obviously, there was things missing that kept it from actually truly feeling like a Fallout game, but like, you know, there was something there, and that's why it stuck around. And a lot of the people that stuck around too, you know, props to them for sure. You know, and the people that have stupid amounts of hours are not necessarily always the most optimistic. It's a smorgasbord of emotions. we all process this differently. So we here talk a bit of shit. We welcome people that talk a bit of shit, lighthearted. But yeah, as for the sitting down and you know, chilling here in the office and using the capture card and dealing with this low ass resolution,
It's better than where I
my
live.
lower back, you know, depends on how often I'll be sitting at the mic and actually have such clear vocals. The rest of the time it'll probably be on my Razer headset. RIP. But it is what it is. But as we all know, we got Invaders from Beyond going on right now. I think we got, what, a little bit less than a week left on that bad boy. I did my boost method. This is something that I recommended. Somebody else said just cram them because I guess before 10,000, you know, you get, you can also double or increase the 10K farmable. You know, so I don't know. I guess I could try that next season, see if that works better. But you know, what I would do is I would just grind and farm. You know, I'd use mentat, or you know, berry mentats and brain bombs and yada 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 to just farm that 10K and get through the first 100 without using any of the boosts that I was unlocking. And then afterwards, then every week, because it pretty much worked out. I got a little bit of time. I've used all my boosts that I got for free, and you know, we got some time left. But I think a couple weeks, right? But my thing is give it a boost, and then you know, finish out the dailies. So basically, so the first day, so like Tuesday, they add the weeklies. I'll not use the boost. I'll just do the dailies, and I won't do any of the weeklies. I'll avoid the weeklies completely, and then I, you know, wait until later in the day, like I don't know, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and then I'll hop on, pop the boost, do my dailies, do as many of the weeklies as possible. And then the next day, sometime during the day, before the boost wears out, you know, then I hop on and finish out, you know, the weeklies, and then do those days dailies. And then I'll get all of the weeklies boosted because that, you know, that complete 3 days of dailies essentially. Like, it's best to have that boosted, you know what I mean? Like, if not, then it's just kind of a waste. I mean, I guess, you know, maybe adding it up. I think I did add it up, and boosting the first day is less than what you get if you boost that one weekly. So I don't know. But anyways, I do one boost a week, and it's on Wednesdays, late at night. And then that's the farm night. Next day, knock out whatever I have left, and then I get a boost. So I'm about to I'll hit 200, you know, by the end of the day, probably. And then, yeah, I'll hit 200. So hitting 200 a day, and then it's like, you know, I didn't spend a dime on any boost or anything like that. It's like, yeah, I got Fallout first, but whatever. That's mainly for the storage, which may be changing. We'll see. Might not even need it. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't really farm this. I see people that are spending money and are boosting like crazy and re-rolling and getting epics on every single one, and it's like, yeah, why, dude? Like I have all my cards maxed out, my legendaries, right? The perks. There's other cards that I could max out, but I don't really see me using. So yeah, I mean, all special. I don't have charisma maxed out, but I have enough to max out charisma. That's why I have 400. I used this season's points to get enough to completely max it out, and then, you know, I've already passed that. And then ammo factory, because I'm a fucking ammo beast. Just burn through that shit. But aside from that, I don't have anything else. I think I have, is that one? Yeah, everyone dumped in to take one for the team. But luck and you know, charisma I gotta dump in, but everything else is there. I don't really have to worry about it. So I don't really see the need. I mean, I guess, you know, if I really wanted to get sweaty, what is it? Atoms are a waste for sure. Gold bullion, don't need it. Carry weight, fuck no, like 30 of those. Perk coins, I mean, that's what I've been burning them on. I got 700. Oh my god. Legendary modules, probably not a bad idea these days. I don't know which one would be better, script or modules. I mean, that's the same, isn't it? That's the same, right? It's a 1 to 10 conversion ratio or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. It's something like that, right? Like that amount converts into that amount now. I don't know what it would be. I don't know. I have to look into that, but I mean, that might be beneficial. Mystery bobblehead. I don't know. I've never used bobbleheads, and I grab every single one I've ever seen. So I have a good little stockpile. Why can't I get atoms? Oh, bitch. Lunch boxes, I mean, that's what I'm using all my gold on these days, and I'm really just gobbling up gold, trying to stay away from max. So I don't know, I mean, more perk coins just to have a safety net, maybe, I don't know, maybe legendary modules. I mean, legendary modules are, to me, are gonna convert to crafting legendary mods so that I can sell them, which I do. I flip them like fucking crazy, bro. Like fucking crazy. Make so many caps, such a sleazeball. Hey, hustlers welcome here. I mean, you know, no sleaze bags, but like hustlers welcome here. People that are selling shit for expensive amounts of caps, hey, all power to you. You know what I mean? That reminds, it's like one of my first exposures to like trading in the game. Once I was like, I need to start upping my cap game, you know, I need to start getting some shit flowing. And the first thing I did, I mean, I joined one of the discords and I started trading, and I needed some flux, and somebody sold them to me for, I think it was like 300 caps each. I was like, okay, whatever. And like, I got what I needed. I got my jetpack, and that was it. And I haven't needed them since, because I go run Sports Beast Queen and or Scorched Earth, I should say. And shit, hold on. Alright. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But yeah, I'd run, Scorched Earth, and I wouldn't need any more, so I'd have extra, and I'd be like, yeah, let me dump some of this. And I'd sell them for like stupid amounts. I started selling them for like 800 each, knowing that I had gotten them for like 300, not 2 weeks earlier, and immediately sold them. I was like, okay. So I dropped it to like 700 because I wanted to keep it flowing, and I just was tagging along on any Scorched Earth I could find, and then was just making caps that way. And talking to people, they were like, oh, it's kind of scumbaggy. I only sell them for like 250, 300, oh, 500 max. I'm like, nah, dude. I sell that shit for like 700, 800 reliably, That's when I realized, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm more on that scumbag side. I'm not willing to like screw people over at all, you know, like I watch videos on like the subreddit of people getting screwed over, and it's like, that's why I'm kind of sus on the whole trading. You know, I need a carrier. If that was the case, I need it. I've traded for sure, but it's typically like, you know, if there's any type of fuckery going on, like I just dip. But typically they're pretty much just straight sells. They'll throw them into their shop and I'll buy them straight up, or, you know, I've never done like a direct trade item for another item type thing, in which case if I did, it would definitely be curio. So yeah, I don't know, like I'm down with that shit. If people got ways of making caps, hey, fucking spread the love, you know, I'm all about that shit. But yeah, if you're screwing people over, stealing shit, if you're scamming, yada yada, then yeah, fucking whatever. Go away. Don't like that shit. Not cool. Not impressed, bro. Not impressed. And that will be one of those things. And this is for the VOD, you know. I mean, that's why I'm talking. There's nobody here. But you know, there's no trading going on in here. If there was any type of trading that would happen through the stream, it would be through probably either the Discord where we can get a carrier, or maybe the Reddit. But I don't know. I would prefer it to be through the Discord where we just hand our items over to somebody and they disperse, you know, accordingly. That would be preferable. But yeah, no trading here, no trying to rip people off, no, you know, advertising, none of that weird shit. We're here to goof around, talk shit, and have a good time. And have some drinks later, relax a little bit, have some fun, grind this event, and yeah, that'll be it. I mean, even these days, trading is kind of like nerfed, right? I haven't even gone back to the Discord. I'm sure if I did, like, it'd probably still be active, but people just, you know, basic trading. No more, you know, 5,000 liters for, you know, yada, yada, yada. No guns really dropping the value of what they used to be, so. And if you do, like, it's a matter of it being, like, an actual drop, right? It has to be, like, a genuine drop for you to be able to trade it. Which is kind of like I don't know, that's a sleazebaggy. I don't like that. I think that's an unnecessary step. It's like, let people, you know, let people do their thing. Let people craft and sell and do all that. I also think that they should like double the cap limit or remove it altogether. I don't know, like it just seems stupid. I'm sure that there's some arbitrary reason, you know, much like why you can't have a specific spawn point in your camp. You know, there's some reason, but it's like, hey, just figure out a better way. Like, fix your fucking game. Like, that shouldn't be an issue. Like, that's not my problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my fucking problem. You should have creation engine should be, you know, better at handling that shit. Whatever. Like, have a buffer time, you know, like have it notify you that there's somebody at your camp when you're going so that you're prepared, or, you know, whatever, dude. Like, what the fuck? There's other ways. Like, that's for that specific spawning, you know, reason. Like, the cap thing, I'm sure it has to do with people, like, duping and you know, it's like, well, if people do find a way of farming caps, then they're going to be, you know, SOL because they're gonna hit their cap limit. And it's like, okay, well, what if they're just like buying expensive items? And it's like, okay, well, let's put an inventory limit. And it's like, okay, well, what if you just keep all the items on them? All right, let's put a weight limit. And it's like, all right. I'm not saying that's how the progression went. Obviously, there's that aspect in a lot of survival games, obviously, but I don't know. Some shit feels stupid. I think we all know that. There's a lot of stupid shit in this game. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy having a bit of fun on it. Asbestos, Nuka, any flavor. Okay, cook meal, gotta eat anyways. Gain XP. Alright, Mylar, kill lost. Don't want to do that last one. Fuck. why the fuck is it? Oh, the brain fungus has died. Why? The starlights? What? Alright. Okay. Should mention, so it doesn't piss people off, I'm a bit of a fucking troll, right? It is what it is. I like to fuck around. I think games should be like goofy by nature.
that?
I don't know, like I
It was
don't
the world's
think competitive aspect of gaming is lame. It's like certain reverence to people that used to do like Street Fighter tournaments and shit like that, but I still felt like it should like favor fun. And I don't know. I think people get a little too sweaty. That kind of bugs me. So I dick around. I typically focus people that look like they're trying to be like serious. So, so there'd be a bit of fucking around.
I should go on a walk. You know what they say. Observe nature and the songs will flow.
I guess I could make this a bit of an introductory stream, just ramble to myself for the VOD. And kind of just, you know, talk about, you know, what I'm all about. It popped up right here. Like I said, wife and kids, stay at home, but at the same time, like, it is there's so much work. So, like, yeah, like, it's a bit of like a, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, oh shit. Like, oh yeah, there's a, you know, I'm just stay home with the kids, and you know, I could fuck around, just, you know, leave him in the crib, and he can play, and you know, I'll just go, you know, stream, and I can play games, and I can do yada yada yada, and then, you know, it happens. And you're like, okay, so there's literally no time for anything unless they're sleeping, you know what I mean? And even then, you gotta be quiet, because the last thing you want to do is to wake up a sleeping kid and shit. So it was just not possible. It was just not possible to stream, and then at the same time, like, weekends, it's like you're just tired, and like, you know,
You ever get a
streaming is
melody stuck in
exhausting,
your head?
especially the concept of sitting
One
in the
day,
chair, like I mentioned
I'm gonna
earlier.
write a song that does that.
For that long, it's just like, I don't know, not vibing on that. So, you know, took like 3 years off. I'm not saying I'm on, but like, you know, I stopped streaming about 3 years ago, streaming on Twitch. Don't even want to bother talking about any of that. Streamed for quite a while to basically nobody. And, you know, almost like a crazy extent, where it's like, why are you still doing this? What's wrong with you? so I don't even want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, not like he's like, oh, I remember you.
An alien commander is beaming down.
I don't want to be
Focus your
reminded
fire.
of that. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah. Well, you know, like, oh, maybe somebody would remember me.
Force field eliminated. Destroy the brainwave siphon.
Thinking about all that time wasted.
Good. Now
Sitting
move
around
to the
screaming,
second siphon.
talking
We
to
need to
myself
draw
like I
out
am now.
another commander there.
But, you
One
know,
more thing.
in this
The
particular
enemy
case,
ship
it's
is
for the
powering
best.
up
There's
their
a lot of
offensive
times where I'll
system.
probably be quiet.
Watch
unless
out for
somebody's in
missile
chat.
strikes.
That's just how it is.
It may be wise to split up your forces. There are 2 captains. They are beaming down now. Excellent work. Now, focus your fire on the brainwave siphon. The defense is progressing smoothly. One more siphon to go.
But yeah, stream on Twitch. Definitely don't like what Twitch has become over the years. I didn't like it when I left. Like, I hated it when I left. I was like, this is not Twitch anymore, dude. Like,
Their
what the fuck
final
is this
commander
place?
is coming.
And what it's become
Defend
since I left is like repulsive. I've tried streaming over there, and I'm pretty sure there's bots. I'm sure there's bots here too, but I never really respected the community. People that are bots.
Quickly, destroy that brainwave siphon. I hope that my support was beneficial. Either way, I must ask that you do not try to track me down. I am not well suited to social interaction.
Yeah, wasn't digging on that. Super weird. I don't know. It felt hollow. And then it's like, if you know, it's like, yeah, I still had followers and stuff like that on, you know, on my Twitch channel. I was streaming on there, and it's like, yeah, nobody's showing up. I know what that means. I know it's just gonna be sitting here on this fucking platform that is like nothing like what I used to, like, you know, appreciate. It's like when I started, it was like 2012, 2013. You know what I mean? Like early days. Like Lyric and Summit were the kings and remained kings for years, and it was just the natural balance, you know. Did the Arma shit, the RP, did the GTA RP, did, you know, Counter Strike, did all that shit. But yeah, by the end of it, it's like I remember distinctly, like the first 3 or 4 months of me streaming, I was growing faster than normal. You know what I mean? I was growing faster than your average person on the platform. Like, it was a really low number of people. You know what I mean? But that meant you can track, who had what and how fast they were growing, that type of shit. And for somebody new to get that many followers, like I had 100 followers within, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, which was like insane at that time. I mean, the biggest crowds of viewers were like 4,500, 5,000 viewers. You know what I mean? Like Lyric and Summit and shit like that. That's when
The world's kind of amazing.
growing
Give
that
yourself a
fast
big
was
look
actually
at
like a whoa, like push it, do it, do giveaways, do this, do tournaments, do all the shit, raffles, yada yada, just push through, do 24-hour streams, stream every fucking day, like do everything, make clips, put it on YouTube, that type of shit, and like did it, and like had a decent amount of viewers, like hundreds, couple hundred of viewers, I won't say hundreds, but it's like 100 to 200, 300 viewers per stream, a lot of times when I was doing like giveaways and shit like that, it was just kind of like corny. So I got a lot of viewers, got a lot of followers, nothing to shake a stick at. Like, even by today's standards, it's more than just like somebody who hopped on and just started streaming, It's for somebody new, it'd be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, this is my first like goal and shit. I was affiliated, first wave, that type of shit. But, once taking subs and then running ads, like, it's just hard, Once they really like leaned into like making money, like essentially after Amazon bought them, it got really difficult. You really had to like stand out, and initially it's like it became a power vacuum. I remember that distinctly because it was like I could stream Counter-Strike, and then it's like, okay, somebody finished their stream, and then like a bunch of people would come over because they were just looking for other Counter-Strike streams, and they would just hop in and say what's up. There's other people around, they stick around, like, hey, you guys are still here, if you want to stick around, get a few more people here, and then we'll do a giveaway for a skin or whatever. Like, oh, okay, cool. They go invite their buddies, then all of a sudden it's just like a chain reaction, that type of shit. And then, I forgot what it was. I think it was, I don't want to say Fortnite. I think it was LOL, to be honest. I think it was League of Legends. When Twitch started, like, really focusing on, like, streaming tournaments and stuff, and big viewer-grabbing events, it was like a ghost town when those events were live. And like eventually they just made sure that there was always some type of large event on, you know what I mean? It was like, it's just, that's one thing to compete with. And it was just the more attention Twitch got, the more people like were making the investment, because back then it's like you needed to buy shit. Like, people weren't building rigs. Like rig building was a thing, and like they were spending money, but it was like a handful of people. Like, the concept of like a dual rig setup for streaming was like alien shit. I mean, it still kind of is to a lot of people, but like you can have multiple screens. Like, oh, you could put chat on one screen, you can see what people are saying, and then, oh, that's what they do. Oh, I did it. Like, well, now I gotta go get a second monitor, and that's a big investment for people and that type of shit. And it's like, well, my graphics card doesn't support it, so now I need a $500, $600 graphics card bare minimum. And then it's like, you build this rig bare minimum, and you realize that it can barely handle streaming, and then it's like all the streams were shit. And that's just how it was, you know what I mean? So the better your setup, the better your production, presumably the better your retention value. And that's what people did. They just like devoted to their setups, better audio, better video, better capture cards, shit like that. And eventually it just became easier and easier to buy that, build it, and implement it. It's like websites, you know what I mean? Like, being a website developer at one point was a a quality, you know what I mean, a service. It's something that people would pay for, that, you know, that they didn't really have any other options, that they needed to go to this person with that expertise and get it done. It's like a drywaller, framer, or what have you, you know what I mean? It was a profession, a trade. And that got just completely blown out when there was website builders and stuff like that started getting pumped out, you know? It's like, yeah, there was Front Page and Dreamweaver and shit like that, but you still needed some cursory knowledge of how websites work to get things stitched together and not, you know, break itself. But now it's like, you know, go to square.com and have your own store up in minutes. And it's like, yeah, it's true. Like, all that shit would take a developer, I don't know, 80, 100, 120 hours to get done, and charging $30, $40 an hour or more. Like, yeah, that's how they make a living. You know what I mean? So doing that type of shit just kind of ate out that industry. And when capture cards started being able to handle it, and it's like the capture cards, it's like you could throw in a fucking 980 Ti right now and still be able to stream at like 60, you know what I mean? We've passed that point where, you know, the average person doesn't have the ability. You know, getting a mic set up on an arm and having two monitors and talking a certain way and making sure to clear the audio and not have background noise like I do with the fan and the game on speakers and shit like that, you know, the nuance shit. And it became a point, you know, that I remember when Doc like hit the scene, like it was like, oh, that's a next level bit of production right there, you know what I'm saying? Like that's next level shit. Like, oh my god.
And I mean, really, want to join a band one day.
And then more shit like that became common, and just the cameras became super good. And I remember, you know, the trick was finding a specific type of camera that could hook up to an Elgato cam capture, and you could feed a DSLR through it, and you could piggyback off of the monitor's, you know, output and just use that as your camera. So doing that was like a $1,200-$1,500 barrier of entry, and that was like the next level. So then people were like, oh, you need a cam. It's like, okay, but my cam's shit, and you're just bitch and complain about that. So no, I'm not. I'm also not gonna go get all pretty and shit like every time I want to stream. So, you know, I never wanted to use a cam, and I guess eventually that was probably a contributing factor as well. And over time, it just kind of fell off. And for a long time, I just sat there streaming to nobody, much like I'm doing right now, which is why this is so natural. But again, I'm telling myself it's for the vibe. It is what it is. So, you know, I got married and was like, you know, having a kid here soon, and it's just not going to be feasible. It's going to be frustrating, and it's going to be just anxiety and shit like that, trying to meet a schedule and also do this and that, and going to cut into time I'm spending with the kid. And, you know, I mean, he has basketball starting here, you know, January or February or whatever, and that's going to cut into Saturdays. So streaming on those days is going to be difficult. It just is what it is. So this is going to be a very fluid type of streaming schedule. It just kind of goes with my free time. But you know, it was like having a kid. I think I should just chill out. Nothing's coming from it. You know, it's like, yeah, I could take subs, but people are also getting pre-rolls as soon as they hop into my stream, and, you know, they hop into a stream with nobody in chat and they're gone. You know, they say hi and they're gone before I even respond, which was super depressing and frustrating. So that was getting old. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. Don't go into a stream with like nobody in there to like liven up their day by saying hi and then dipping. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna stick around, or if you're gonna say hi, then stick around. You know what I mean? Stick around. Intend on sticking around for like a half hour. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it like 5 or 10 minutes, because that person's probably been sitting there for like an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, and with no interaction. And like the second you start a conversation, you know, they're into it. You know what I mean? They're hoping that other people are gonna come in and join the conversation and shit. And they get like, you know, they get into it. They get amped. You know what I mean? And it's like 10 minutes and you're just like, all right, dude, I gotta go. And it's like, oh, all alright, dude, hey, you know, take it easy, appreciate you stopping by, you know, hope you hit that follow button. Like, it's fucking lame, dude. Like, don't do that shit. It just, don't, like, lurk or chill, you know what I mean? Like, lurk or chill, don't say hi and dip. That's fucked up shit. I don't know if people actually, like, think about that, like, what it actually does to, like, the person. When they do that, and it's like what you're waiting for, you know what I mean? Like, it's like getting something you want, then having somebody just kind of like take it away after you get like 5 minutes of it in your hand, you know?
Crazy as it is here,
It's like, oh, alright,
it's better than where I've been.
cool, man, late. So, yeah, that's my advice for the average viewer. It's like, lurk or chill, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna chill, if you're gonna lurk for a half hour, then just like say what's up, bro. Like, chill and shit, you know? Chit chat, hit a follow button or subscribe or whatever, and like just relax, chill, joke around, like, you know? Don't be like, oh, hello, streamer, how are you? What is your name and where are you from? Oh, what are your other hobbies? What are your other interests? Like, it's like a fucking job interview, dude. Just chill, bro. God damn. I don't know. It got very annoying and like stale and weird. So that's why it was so easy to quit. Had the kid, and then a couple years later, and it's like, oh, let's have another kid. So I got another one crawling around here, standing up and wobbling around, screaming and shit. And then the toddler is getting into things, you know what I mean? He's getting into school, and he's getting into basketball, and he's getting into the gym, you know, weekly gym, and going over to his cousin's house to play on the weekends, and, you know, and birthday parties and Christmases and Halloweens mean things now, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different environment, different climate that I'm trying to stream in. So, I'm gonna be casual, you know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely not beholden to it in the sense that I ever assume that it's gonna be some type of like income. That was one of the disgusting things of being involved with Twitch that early, and then watching people be like, oh, we can take donations now, like, oh, cool. And then it became like work, and like all the fun of it. Like, there was no for the love of the game anymore type shit. Even the big streamers were just like, well, I gotta stay on, I'm on top now with no income, like I gotta stay on top once this shit hits. And you even got lame there, you know what I mean? A lot of focus on viewers and shit like that. You know, I think the biggest streamers only expected a couple hundred viewers, and then they were always surprised that they got more. That every time they logged in or started their stream and they saw 1,000, 2,000 people sitting there, it was good enough. You know what I mean? Those were their people. You know what I mean? So when people started taking money, it was like lame. So yeah, I mean, obviously the dream, of course. I didn't stream that long, not being like, well, it would be really cool if this paid off one day. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, but this, what I'm doing here, this is me just dicking around. I want to make a couple videos for some fresh beginners, like stupid shit, because I was like, I'm brain dead, so I mean, it might be specific issues with me in particular, but you know, it's like when I go to somebody's camp, which, you know, would happen on the way down from Vault 76, you know, there would be a camp or two, and I'd be like, what is this? Can I go in there? Like, am I gonna get shot by those guns? Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, what's this box? Oh, is this storage? Is this person's storage? Like, oh, am I stealing it, or am I putting it in there? What's going on? What is this? Like, there's so much of that where it's like, I think a video could be made where it's like, all right, young lad, here's what's up. You know what I mean? Like, these boxes here are donation boxes. These are the only shared inventories on the map. You can find individual boxes, like when you're searching for things, you know, you open a toolbox, like you can put things in it, but they're gonna disappear, so don't bother. You know, but if you go into somebody's camp, which you won't get shot, you can freely enter. You know, you find a storage box, that's always your storage. Whatever you put in it will go into your storage. You don't have to worry about it. Next. Okay, here's how like a vendor actually works. Here's what you know, that type of shit. And just make a list, like top 10 things, like a noob, fresh out the vault, you know, what they need to know. And I've been wanting to do that for, God, 100 to 150 levels now. like I said, I'm gonna hit 500 today. I'm not, it's only 1,200 hours in the game, so I'm not some voice of authority here. Fallout 76 and shit. I'm not one of these fucking level 12,000 individuals. I'm just a normal player. And things that I would have liked. And to be honest, things that those people don't even remember. They can't even comprehend. A lot of people never even experienced because it was a threshold that was just put in after they had passed. You know what I mean? They were already geared and ready and leveled up and shit like that when they had to come back and do Wayward and come back and do White Springs and come back and do, the Brotherhood, that type of shit, you know. They didn't stumble their way through all of that as a game it is now. Because right now it's like more of like an actual game, you know. Before it was like a sandbox that they were just going back and experimenting with when they added shit. Or enjoying when they added shit. So I'd like to make a video like that. That's why I had to get this fancy mic set up. Not necessarily fancy. I have this is the AT2020 USB. Previously I had a mixer with the AT2020 just standard, so had a lot more options, can make it sound a lot more sexy. But you know, this one will do. If I'm gonna make streams and I'm gonna make, you know, video here and there and stuff like that, just to like mess around, I'm gonna do a bug like compilation video. Like I've already been saving clips, just stupid shit, rapid fire. I don't know, maybe like 100, 200 bug clips and just you know, do stupid shit. Well, 2 or 3 minute like funny video of just the most ridiculous shit that I've caught on camera. I haven't been recording the clips very long, and I should probably find out the most streamlined way of getting them from the PlayStation. I know I can do it on my phone, but maybe there's a way on web browser, I'm not sure. But I do enjoy laying down and streaming. That is nice. I don't enjoy laying down and wearing a headset, that's for sure. And that's the thing, is when I'm doing this, it's like I don't have the headset on because just it doesn't coincide. Like I need the mic on the headset, talk in game, but I need the audio to output to the streaming card, and it does that if it's just on, like if it was playing it through a TV, like if it recognized the capture card as a TV. So it's like, you know, having it on and using the mic and all that shit, it's just, I tried to find the source for the capture card's audio, and it wouldn't like, it let me focus that, wouldn't let me focus the PS. So I don't know, it's very strange. I've actually never played this game with mic on. I have no idea like how ruthless and fucked up people are and what the shit they say. Like I just go around doing stupid shit and just watch their reactions and get humor out of it. You know, like maybe if I'm laying down, like maybe like later I might hop on the headset and go to the bedroom and lay down and shit like that. And you know, if I'm streaming that way, then I might just do flat out open mic and see what's up. So that's the other issue, is I gotta, if I'm talking to the stream, like I can't have it open mic. You know, it's just it's fucky. Yeah, it is fucky. Just rambling here. Filling time a little bit. A half hour into the next Invaders. That's my main thing. I'm just farming it. I mean, basically what happened was, you know, I had Fallout first and was like, or I didn't have Fallout first and was like, okay, let's do some trading. Oh, I can't even store weapons in here. You know, my mats are super heavy. I can only fit like 2 guns in here, and selling 1 or 2 guns at a time is like painful. I don't know what's what. Like, I don't know what's valuable. Like, I don't know what people are looking for, what I should, what I should be charging, and so it's like rolled around, Fosnot popped up, and I was like, oh, these masks, I'm gonna start collecting these, and really got into that. And that's when I started looking into trading. And I was like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll just do these events. I'll hoard the plans like everybody else, and I'll have them as like a little nest egg. And those nest eggs have come in very handy, especially recently when I've just been like dumping caps on mods. Vintage water coolers flipping for 15, 20k. I gotta check if my beeswax candles are selling, but those are typically 5 or 6k. The butter churn, typically 10 to 15k. I'm flipping the mods. I got bloodied and anti-armor unlocked. I don't have I have others, but no good ones, not like bolstering or unyielding or anything like that. But bloodied and anti is like a consistent sell. They sell them at 7 to 8 each, and they're both 1-star, so they're relatively cheap to craft. Just 15 modules. And some like scraps, nothing, just some junk. No bobbleheads or serums or anything like that. I mean, I do need serums for the adrenal reactions for the bloodied, which, I got that, and I can craft quite a few. It's nothing, I won't be burning that up anytime soon. People do buy them consistently, so, I do gotta watch how much money I have, or how many caps I have. Yeah, that's kind of what my game became is I get obsessed with these events. I like this one a little bit less because I've been really busy with the kids, but Fosnot was insane. Fosnot, goddamn, like I had to have them because I went AFK on that, and I have no shame on that. People get pissed off. Again, one of those things that the community, like, I don't know, I think they're a little too high and mighty on, especially with like the nuking and shit like that. Fuck off. But it's that's my thing. I do like the FOMO. I like that type of FOMO. I don't like the store FOMO. I like the FOMO of try as hard as you can now, because once it's done, it's done. You know what I mean? Like your payout is only as profitable as you're willing to put effort into. And I got 7 of the masks. You know what I mean? 6 or 7. I got 7 of the masks, plus 4 different types of rares. And this one's just so goofy. This is like my identity. This has been my identity. I love this shit. The head rarely ever changes, but the Brahmin with the butcher outfit, that's like my thing. It's very meta. I love it. But Fosnot, that was when it was like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna be all like cool and like collected and shit. I'm just gonna be a fucking like troll. Who gives a shit?